Hey, what's up, good people? It's Jay Ray, the co-host of Q Points, and I wanted to come to you because there are two really important ways that you can support our show. One is by subscribing to it wherever you listen to or watch your podcasts. Q Points is pretty much everywhere. The other thing that you can do is you can visit us on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify, and on Podchaser, and you can leave us a star rating. Please rate us 5 stars because you know you love Q Points. And on Apple Podcasts and on Podchaser, you can actually leave us a written review. It's not required, but it really does help to spread the word about the show, and it helps people to discover it as they're looking for new podcasts to listen to. We're always appreciative of you supporting Q Points. We thank you so much for all that you've done for us so far, and enjoy the show.
Greetings and welcome to another episode of Q Points Podcast. I am DJ Sir Daniel.
And my name is Jay Ray, sometimes known by my governments as Johnny Ray Cornegay III. What is happening, folks?
Q Points Podcast is dropping the needle on Black music history, and this episode is no different. Jay Ray, what's going on with you, brother? How are you feeling?
Listen, I am feeling really good. I have been able to stay out of this heat. Amen.
Talk about it.
You know, and so I'm feeling, you see, I got my shoulders going. We're talking about the divas tonight as we,
Hey.
you know. Hey, so I'm feeling really good. How about you, man?
I am doing the same. As I told you before we came on the air, I had the most life-changing nap. It was a post-swim, post-sauna, post-meal nap, and it just... I think I slipped into another world, but I came back in enough time to do this and join you for this episode of Q Points. So I am feeling refreshed and ready to go.
Listen,
but I want to make sure that everybody, I hope you've done your laundry. Please make sure you've done your laundry because we are on the precipice of Jackie Washington Day.
The Grand
Jerry,
Dame.
we're talking about divas, and there's no ultimate diva than Jackie Washington.
Absolutely. Listen, July 15th, it's a Monday. Get yourself together. Do that laundry. Because, you know, people, Jackie Washington Day, people just, you know, they just dropped in on Jackie Washington Day. Shout out to Jennifer Lewis and the brilliance that is Jackie Washington.
Jennifer Lewis and Whoopi Goldberg, who delivered that line about Jackie Washington Day. Really, because I think, okay, fun fact, everything that Whoopi Goldberg did in Jackie's back was improvised because she was on the set of Girl Interrupted, which is why she had on that nurse's uniform.
Right.
And so most of her lines were improvised, like Robert Townsend fed her some like some facts and some parameters of like what they're talking about. And she riffed that. She riffed that whole thing. July 15th, people doing their laundry and boom, dead. But J-Ray, before we get into the divas of 83, you know, let's talk to our folks and thank them for joining us, but also welcome the new listeners and tell them what they need to do.
Absolutely. Thank you all so much. As DJ Sir Daniel said, we are so grateful for y'all being here and joining us for this episode of Q Points. So you are already doing the most important thing that you can do. You are listening, you are watching, and that is absolutely important. And it don't cost you nothing. You are right here just tuning in. Thank you so much for doing that. If you want to do us a solid, share Q Points with your friends, family, colleagues, because if you love Q Points, chances are they will love Q Points too. If you want to go a step further, and we want you to go a step further, you should visit our website at qpoints.com. You could sign up for our newsletter. You can also read our blog, which is called Q Points Magazine at magazine.qpoints.com. Also free. And if you want to keep the lights on over here at Q Points, you see these glowing lights behind
Mm-hmm.
myself and DJ Sir Daniel. If you want to do that, you can shop our store at store.qpoints.com. And really quickly, Sir Daniel and we did a post about this. We thank y'all so much for supporting the Q Point store. We have been seeing sales regularly in the store. It really is helpful and helps us to be able to do the things that we do on this show every day. So just thank y'all, thank y'all, thank y'all so much for supporting us.
Absolutely. We appreciate you and continue. That's the most important
Yes.
part. There's always somebody new that you can get some Q Points merch for in your life. But let's hit it. Let's get on to the subject at hand. 1983 was a magical year for a few ladies. These ladies we're going to talk about in particular. But let's start at what prompted this conversation. In March, which is the beginning of Aries season, Diana Ross kicked things off with her 80th birthday. Then shortly after that, Gladys Knight turned 80. Patti LaBelle a couple days after Gladys turned 80. And it was a magical moment. These women have really stood the test of time. They're pretty much, if you think about it, literally they are the last ones standing.
Oh, yeah.
Like from their class of performers, quite a few of their peers have passed away. Even the ones that they say that people thought were better than them, or was the true divas. They've all passed away, but they're still here, and they're still functioning lovely, looking good, sounding good, performing regularly.
Yep.
So before we do anything more, I think we need to give it up to them for like surviving all that they have, to reaching the age of 80. They came through Jim Crow, segregation, after segregation, all of that in the pursuit of providing music to several generations.
Yes. These women, in particular, Sir Daniel, when we think about our lives, there has never been a point where the voices of these women have not been part of our life experience.
That's
on
right.
the soundtracks of our lives, there is the music of each and every one of these women. And you are absolutely correct. We cannot say how important these women are enough. And the women we're, of course, talking about, Diana, Gladys, and Patti. There are many more, but we called these women out in particular to your point, right? They all turned 80. They're still doing it. They are still doing it. There are folks 20 years their junior retiring. And these women are like, nope, I can still get on stage. I can still do my thing and still turn out a crowd. I know folks that have seen each and every one of these ladies over the last 5 years, and they're like, oh, that show went off. Like, great show.
Still giving it to you like the rent is due and the eviction notice is on the door and their clothes have been put out on the street.
Exactly.
That's how hard these women still give it to you. And the appeal is still there. Like, not only can they perform, but audiences still love them.
Yes.
People over the decades have been able to accumulate fans that just aren't fair weather.
Right.
They've accumulated fans that continue to support them throughout the years, despite what technology has changed, styles of music. Who cares that hip hop is the culture?
Right.
There are people that still go out of their way to go out and support these women, and I think that speaks even louder volumes than anything else. The fact that they've been able to hold on to their fan bases. And I'm just wondering, I don't know, is it just the fact that they put in all that work all of those years, or do they have a special sauce? I mean, of course they have a special sauce. Each one of them are stars, but I don't know, what can we attribute that hold that they have on their fan bases to?
So that is a great question. And Sir Daniel, I really truly believe that it is the songs ultimately.
Okay.
I think ultimately it is the fact that these women have sang songs that have been part of so many important moments in folks' lives. And to that earlier point that you made, it's cross generational, right?
Right.
There are folks younger than you and I who can sing Baby Love. It's just in their DNA. There are young people in their teens. We see it all the time on TikTok that's singing Love, Need, and Want. You know what I mean? So
Absolutely.
these women, the reason why they have such a chokehold is they were gifted with these amazing songs from these amazing songwriters, worked with amazing producers to bring these songs to life, and their talent brought those songs to life. I think you can't, you just can't get lost. You get lost in all of that.
Yeah. And since we're speaking of songs, let's get to it. There's a reason why we call on this episode Divas 83 or Divas in 83. 1983 was a special year for them.
Yeah.
All three of these women dropped projects that some were more impactful than others. And,
Absolutely. We'll talk about
we're going to
that.
discuss that. We'll talk about that. J. Ray and I are probably going to rank these albums from our favorite to least favorite. And so let's start it off. The first one that on the top of the list is simply called Ross.
So, you know what's so interesting about this record? So Diana Ross is Ross. I actually have a copy of that. This cover, so there are several personal story. Diana Ross album covers often have inspired me as a photographer. So Diana was going to give you a cover. Do you see this?
Now, let me ask you this real quick. Does it fold out?
It doesn't fold. Not this one. This one doesn't fold out. Well, there's a reason though. And I think I know the reason. But we'll talk about that in a second. But Ross came out in 1983. Diana Ross also has the interesting distinction of having many albums named after her first name, Diana, or her last name, Ross. I think this is probably like the second Ross album. And I think part of the reason for that is Diana came from the school of, there was a lot of songs and a lot of recording, and she was always releasing something, right? So I'm sure some of it was just like, we're just calling this Diana. It's fine. It's okay. So it's cool. It's Diana 73. Whatever. Right. But this album, interestingly enough, is Ray Parker Jr. produced part of this record, a few songs on this record. You have Gary Katz, who produced the bulk of it. Diana Ross. So during Diana Ross's RCA years, so this is her third RCA album. Diana Ross was releasing one album a year during her RCA contract. This is her third release. Okay. So
wow.
One release a year. So the first release she produced completely. The second release included Muscles with Michael Jackson on RCA. This is the third release. The lead single was Pieces of Ice from this record, produced by Gary Katz. What's interesting about this record? I'm curious to get your thoughts, Sir Daniel. I will share that. So Diana in 83 had ascended to, she was a superstar. This is the album that directly preceded the Central Park concert. So this is the album that was out, that came out like right before that concert. She was a megastar and she was an international star. And these songs are just pop songs. Here's the thing. They're fine. That's the problem. The songs are just fine.
Yeah.
They don't stand out. They're just pop songs with Diana Ross on vocals, but it's not distinct enough to make it like a thing. Whereas like I'm Coming Out and all of that stuff was like, no, these are like definitive. These songs are fine pop songs, but that's it.
So, and to put it in the terms of the young people today, this album was a flop. They would, I think the young people would call this album a flop.
They would,
considering the run that Diana Ross had. Like to your point, that I'm Coming Out, all of that stuff to come before this, the performance at Central Park, like you said. They would have considered this a flop. They would consider her, and we're going to talk about this later on in the show, all of the things, the accolades that you gave her. International star, movie star, she's a household name, and they would consider her a flop because of this album. Now, like you, I listened to this album, and there wasn't anything on here that made me, that put, gave me a tingle anywhere in my body. There was just not. It was very much easy listening. This is like stuff that you would hear in the elevator. It's just it's very safe. It's very tame. She was in her I'm a pop star crossover, adult contemporary artist here. There's nothing you can play this for your great grandmother and not have to worry about them hearing anything trite. So this album didn't do anything for me. As a matter of fact, it's one of the few Diana Ross albums that I don't have.
Yeah.
Like I don't have that. And I see it all the time, and I just be like, oh yeah, there's that album, and just pass by it because it just doesn't do anything for me. And did Richard Perry produce anything on there?
No. So it was just Gary, Ray Parker Jr. and Diana herself.
So now Gary Katz, the funny thing about Gary is he produced Steely Dan's the hit there was one that everybody loves.
Oh my goodness. There are several of them. But which one are you thinking of?
Because there's one that Michael McDonald is singing lead on. The one that
Black Cow. Well, Black Cow. I think he did
the one with the woman's name.
Oh, Kipper's in the chat. Kipper can. It'll come to us. But you're to that point, right? To this point. So Donald Fagen actually makes an appearance. He wrote "Love Will Make It Right," and I think he's on backgrounds on that song as well. Donald Fagen, of course, half of Steely Dan. Gary Katz was a producer for Steely Dan. To Sir, I know you're gonna find the song, Sir Daniel. But one note I also want to make about Diana at this time. Kipper Aya, or was it Peg? Kipper Peg.
Peg.
Mark got it. That was Mark McPherson. Thanks, Mark.
Mark.
Real quick about Diana in this moment, and I feel like this is an interesting time to be putting her alongside Patti and Gladys. Because Diana is actually, this is kind of the beginning of her downswing. So what's interesting is Diana in the very next year is about to have two huge hits. So she's about to have Missing You, which was written by Lionel Richie, and Swept Away, which was co-produced by Daryl Hall. These two songs went off, and that was from her album released in 1984 called Swept Away. And so Diana Ross hit the charts again in 1984 with these two tracks. But the interesting thing is that is the end of Diana's like chart reign in the United States. So 1984 is kind of the last time that Diana is a force on the charts. Obviously, she's still a huge international star as she is today. But from a recording artist perspective, this album kind of marked the downturn. And by the time Eaten Alive comes out in 1985, it's like her her chart reign is done. And
Yeah.
so that was kind of the downswing. So this started the downswing for Diana Ross.
For Diana Ross. So that's Ross. Right next to Ross, Gladys Knight and the Pips put down some. When I tell you this album, Visions stands flat-footed in the foundation of funkin' B
Yes.
and soul and deliver. Well, first of all, it's produced by Curtis Mayfield, correct?
Oh, you know what? Who produced Visions? Let me see.
I believe.
Let me see. Oh, producers. Here we go. This Visions. So we got Edmund Silvers on production, Joey Gallo, Ricky Smith, Gladys and Bubba, Sam Dees. Oh, Richard Rudolph is on a track. Okay. There's several producers. None of them are Curtis Mayfield. Yeah.
No, I don't know where that came from. So never mind that. But the product itself, amazing. We have, of course, Save the Overtime for Me, which is a mega hit to this day. To this day. And right before, so this album comes out a year or two before Gladys Knight becomes her own television star.
Exactly. So this is a very interesting time. Sir Daniel, you took the words right out of my mouth. Visions holds up. You can put on this album right now. It stands in the tradition of R&B. It is not trying to be. It is a modern R&B. What modern R&B sounded like in 83, this album sounds like. It is a solid, yes, Leon Silvers, Kipper's like Leon Silvers' influence was all up in it. Absolutely. This record is kind of the thing that reminded you what was going to happen in Gladys Knight's career. Because to your point, Sir Daniel, Gladys is about to go on the upswing after like Visions. We get all of, she's, with the Pips, we get a Love Overboard after this. We get all of these bops after this.
All the body roll music.
All the body roll music comes after this. But this album really kicks it off superbly with here's how you do a solid R&B record from a group that had been in the business for 20 years at this point. Okay. And they were singing when they were kids.
Yep. She was a child.
Right
here in Georgia.
Yep. And I can't say enough about this record, but I am going to tell y'all, Heaven Sent is one of the best slow jams. There are so many like slow jams on this album that y'all can put in rotation. But Ain't No Greater Love, love that. Save the Overtime for Me, love that. When You're Far Away. I have so many songs on this record that I just absolutely adore. And this is one of those ones that can stay in rotation. Can I say, Sir Daniel, what is interesting? I had never heard the Gladys Knight version because I remember the record from when I was a kid, but I never listened to this whole album straight through. I didn't know that she did a Wind Beneath My Wings either. So
I think I had heard rumors about it. I know that she typically what happens is you have somebody like a Gladys Knight to do a song like Wind Beneath My Wings. And then they'll give it, and they do well, but then they'll give it to a white performer who gets all the accolades and everything. We saw this happen. This happened to Gladys, and it happened to Patti with "If You Ask Me To."
Yes. Because
Patti did that first, and then Celine kind of, did her thing with it, blew it out the water. She did her thing.
Yeah.
But it's a pattern. We see that kind of pattern all the time when it comes to Black performers.
Yeah. So interestingly enough about Wind Beneath My Wings, on this album, it's credited as Hero. That's another interesting thing about this song. It's sometimes credited as Wind Beneath My Wings. It's sometimes credited as Hero. But check this out, Sir Daniel, because I did not know this. I had to look it up in preparation for the show. Wind Beneath My Wings, amen, appeared on Colleen Hewitt's album in 82, a Lou Rawls album in 83, Gladys Knight and the Pips album in 83, and a Gary Morris in 83. That don't even count the fact that like 5-6 years later, Bette Midler would do it and it would become this massive hit. So this song within like a year was shopped to so many artists and so many artists recorded it. And the one we kind of know really did come out like 7 years later.
7 years later. Who wrote it?
So it was written by Jeff Silbar and Larry Henley.
Wow.
Yeah.
No, I know those publishing checks.
Crazy. Okay.
Crazy. But so shout out to Gladys Knight and the Pips for a wonderful R&B standard album. Mm-hmm. And then we're gonna I think we saved the best for last. I know you have some feelings about it.
I have feelings.
But I'm in Love Again by Patti LaBelle might be, I think if we're gonna talk about cultural impact.
Absolutely.
Because this album contains two giant records that, by the way, continue to be sampled.
Yep.
Continue to be turned into TikTok. So that's why when we were talking about earlier about generational impact, cross-generational impact, this album and those two songs are it.
Yeah.
Of course, we're talking about Patti LaBelle, I'm in Love Again. Yeah. And before you go, I just want to say, when you listen to the album, first of all, there's all this, you could tell this is a lush orchestration. Mm-hmm. Like Patty's standing in one of those in the studios, like you see Aretha and all of them standing in the middle with the orchestra, with all the strings and the wind section. Mm-hmm. You can tell that that's happening, one, but Patti LaBelle, for who we know her of as the force on stage, Patty, she is exercising so much restraint. In the beginning of this album. I mean, we get some disco cuts towards the end.
Right.
But she is practicing such restraint. The orchestration is beautiful. Gamble and Huff, of course, she's got the whole Philly sound. So Gamble and Huff have done their thing. But yeah, I don't know. This might be it for me, my number one.
So, okay, we'll talk about that in a second. Mm-hmm. I did not realize that both of those songs were from the same album. I would have bet money that one of these songs was on the Spirits in it. When we were doing the research, because I remember when we had the meeting and we're like, we're going to do this Divas in 83. They all had a record. And I remember we were both like, wait, Love Need and Want You and If Only You Knew is on the same album?
The same album. Yep.
I don't even know. That's brilliant. So to your point, I think the first thing, because I remember the album cover for this record, but I did not remember the record. Mm-hmm. I absolutely agree. So the first half of this album is squarely, well, one, it's a very jazz influence. So that's part of it too, where you get to hear Patti in kind of like a jazz bag, which is really interesting to me because I didn't remember a time where I heard her like that. And restraint, the word that you use, is the perfect word, because I was like, ooh, that tone, baby, you're leaning into the singing part of this whole thing. And so the first half of that record is very organic. You could tell that they're live instrumentation in the studio. And for first half, and then second half, here's where my feelings come in. Second half is very squarely 1983 synthesized R&B, but not in the Gladys Knight soulful way.
It's still disco-y.
It's still disco-y, and it, in my opinion, doesn't really work. So there's a keyboard.
Is that the stuff that Dexter Wansel was working on, the up-tempo records?
So, well, okay, no. Well, we have Kenny Gamble is on one. Leon Huff produced one. So no. Cecil Womack. So Womack and Womack did a song, Love Bankrupt, on this. And then Joseph Jefferson did the final song. So no, the The first half does have the reason why that orchestration is happening though. There's a lot of Bunny Sigler in there, and when Bunny Sigler is part of something, you're gonna get a lot of instrumentation and orchestras and strings. I would be surprised if I wonder who did the string arrangements on this. I'm actually gonna look in a minute, but because I'm wondering if Richie Rome did string arrangements on this album. Shout out to Richie Rome, rest in peace. But what I will say is there's a keyboard. Kipper is still in the chat, I think. And I could hear it as soon as body language started. So Sir Daniel, it was the Yamaha DX7, I think is the keyboard. And that keyboard in particular has a piano sound that for whatever reason in the 80s, so many people used. And I heard, as soon as I heard it, I'm like, oh, here come the DX7 piano. So anyway, I loved the first half of this album. I liked less the second half of this album.
You wish you could like it more.
I wish I could like the second half more.
I want to love it more. Okay, so let's just rank them. I mean, for me, coming in last is Ross.
We agree.
Diana Ross's album. Now that I'm thinking about it, I don't know. I'm going to rank the way we said Visions number 2 and I'm in Love Again number 1, only because, like I mentioned, of the cultural impact that those two songs have today, and keep Patti LaBelle laced in shoes that she can kick off during her performances to this day. So that's the only reason but that Visions, I don't know. Flat-footed and singing. That's the Empress of R&B. People need to give it up for Gladys Knight.
For Gladys Knight. With her family singing back there. Baby, they was bop dabba doo-wopping on the thing. So Ross is definitely number 3 for me. I'm in Love Again is number 2. Visions is number 1. You know, I like the collection of songs on Visions. I like Visions as a whole better. I can play that joint through and be satisfied. And you know what? Visions is also a record for me that if people are like, I want to understand Gladys Knight, and I would put this record in the list. I would be like, play this album.
Okay.
And you'll kind of get it. And I would put Imagination in there, and I would be like, play this too, and you'll understand Gladys Knight. Shout out to Miss Gladys Knight. But I'm happy we did this because it was nice to go back and revisit these records. And I will say something about Ross really quick. The songs were fine. It wasn't like I wasn't annoyed by the listen. I just didn't care that much. So it's fine. I just wanted to say that. It's fine.
It's fine. I wish I loved it more.
I wish I loved it more. And these songs were just not going to be it. And John is in the chat. I know about this record because I remember when Pieces of Ice came out. I was Diana Ross stan. My obviously gay trait was that I was a huge fan of Diana Ross as a kid, y'all. It's my OGT.
So young.
Right.
So young.
And my dad brought me the album. Got me. So Pieces of Ice was my joint. So, yeah. So it was fun.
So
what's the word, everybody? It's your man, Mr. Al Peter, Mr. Peterson's Neighborhood, and the NPN Network. And I'm here today to tell you about what the NPN Network consists of. The NPN Network is an entertainment as well as a developing media company based in Jacksonville, Florida. Our goal is to highlight various creatives that exist in spaces of music, visual arts, podcasting, and more. Within the network, we have multiple brands that will parallel with creatives, events, and other brands. The Neighborhood Podcast Network is a collective of independent podcast shows that has various topics ranging from the latest culture news, mental health, sports, and leisure conversations. We also have the Groove Suite brand that explores the realm of soul, hip-hop, R&B, funk, and more. Groove Suite. Our health and beauty section gives a view on how to keep yourself in shape, in style, and in tune with your body and your mental. Last, we have the Fly Socks and Tees, an annual summer event that brings creatives together to celebrate the past years and victories that were received. So swing by our website, mpn-llc.com, and subscribe so you can stay up on what's happening with the neighbors and the groovers. Also follow us on our Facebook page as well as Instagram and Twitter, MPN Management. Building but becoming to the top.
Another reason why we wanted to do this episode and highlight these three women was because they are forever entangled.
Yes.
Their lives are forever tied. I mean, forever entangled, and for great reason. You know, every time they would be on stage, there was never a moment that they never had some type of interaction with each other. One had something to do with the other. Mm-hmm. What we're looking at now, this is playing, right? Mm-hmm. What we're looking at now is the Motown returns to the Apollo performance in 1985. And there you see her. Now, this is 85. To J. Ray's point, in the beginning, she wasn't having anything on the charts at that point. Matter of fact, she says in the beginning of this is that she came from a very long way, but she wanted to be here. So I had to get here, and I hope you enjoy it, and blah, 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 in a very breathy voice. And she starts off, and as you all will see momentarily, they're singing Toto's I Want to Know What Love Is, correct?
Yes, they are.
And you see, there are oodles and oodles of stars on that stage right now. You see the only white person on there is George Michael. And
only one.
George Michael was a megastar at that point, but George Michael stayed true to his R&B roots and was up in the Apollo with all these black people.
Yes. And also George Michael was like, I'm going to get in when I can fit in, but I'm going to let them do what they doing.
Because what Diana's doing right now for the listeners, what Diana is doing is she's singing the first verse, but she's warming up to what we call in the black community a mic toss, or what people in the hip hop community would call a posse or a cipher.
Yes,
they're about to pass the mic. People are going to get a piece of the mic and sing their hearts out, sing a verse. Mostly it's when they get to the chorus, that's when everybody starts to get a piece. But sooner or later, fun fact, Jesse Jackson is holding Emmanuel Lewis up like he's a baby doll.
It is so weird.
Emmanuel is 15 at this point.
It's so funny that you mentioned that. I don't understand why people kept picking Emmanuel Lewis up and like walking him around, because Michael Jackson did it.
Yup.
And so now all of the people are another note I will make about this performance, and I kind of this is happening.
She's coming.
Tell them what's happening.
Okay. All right. So Diana Ross famously sings, "Can somebody help me?" And Patti LaBelle is standing in the wings saying, "Say less." And she does the ultimate sin, and and hands over the mic to Patti LaBelle, who in 2 breaths has the audience on their feet. She is squalling the house down. Diana Ross she's just relegated herself to just singing along in the chorus in the background with everybody, because true to the title of diva, El DeBarge is getting a piece. Yep. True to the title of diva, Patti LaBelle took a moment. I think Patti, and people like to talk about Patti and she does too much. If you think about it, Patti LaBelle has been scrapping for her whole career. This woman, Diana Ross, allegedly took her homegirl out of the group, the Bluebells, and made her a Supreme. Yeah. So there's already beef, sort of. Yeah. There's already a little beef between them. But here they are standing on stage, and Diana Ross, to our point, is a mega star.
She's a mega star.
Patti LaBelle is still scrapping and still trying to make things happen for herself. So this is a moment. I think Patti LaBelle is just a true performer, and it's like anytime I have the opportunity to sing, to open my mouth, and to stand on stage, I'm going to make sure that you do not forget me.
I absolutely agree with that. I do think Okay,
Look at
Sir
them
Daniel.
holding up Emmanuel
They
Lewis.
just
That is
holding up.
so
It's
awful.
it's so weird. One of the things I think, I'm sure someone has done a study about this. We love people when they be carrying on. Black folks
Love
love
it.
when people carry. We are going
Love
to
it.
support. Patti LaBelle is cradling Emmanuel Lewis, y'all. I don't know.
It's so cringe. It's so cringe, y'all.
It is. But that moment was a special moment, I think, in time to just see these women. And what's interesting about this, and we're about to have another moment because this is now 87. And once again, Diana Ross at the center, right? She's always,
center.
she is Miss Ross, right? So even
The
when
boss.
she has it, baby, listen, even when Bill Cosby, who was at the height of his superpowers at that time, he even says, Miss Diana Ross. The crowd
That's
goes
it.
crazy. So then we go to 87. Diana has her big hair. She's always got her big hair. And she is, I guess, hosting the American Music Awards. And is going to welcome to the stage the Grande Dame, Dionne Warwick, because that's what Friends Are For has now, the year prior, is the biggest song. Now, Dionne has got her curly wig. This is the wig that Whitney was wearing like years
Whitney,
later.
Yes. Uh-huh.
It's the curly. Look at Dionne. Dionne got her curly wig on. She gonna fluff this hair a little bit, and she's gonna give you a "and I." You know what I'm saying?
Please talk about the diva embrace that they all do.
Yes.
The side hug into a cheek kiss. It's standard for the chorus, and all of them do it. Mostly because I figured out mostly when you gotten your hair done and you gotten your makeup done, you don't want to do anything to smudge makeup or get anything out of place.
Right.
So I think that's part of the reason why you see most of these women do a side hug and a cheek kiss, meaning they let their cheeks kiss each other. They don't actually use their lips because you can't smudge your makeup.
Right.
But I think what the best part that's coming
It's coming right now. Here
is that Diana Ross has called Gladys Knight to the stage, who, of course, is an original member on this particular song. That's what Friends Are For, and she goes in for the side hug and the cheek kiss, and I could just. But she doesn't hold on to her.
she doesn't like Dionne. You see how Dionne is still holding on Diana? Gladys is not.
I ain't with the fakeness. I ain't with that fake-ish. You know what you did, girl. You know what you've done over the years.
Oh, this is
J.
such
Ray,
a moment.
Tell them what lies between Gladys Knight and Diana Ross.
So, there's a lot of stories about this, but this really does go back to Motown years for Gladys. So, and people forget this, but Gladys Knight and the Pips were a Georgia group who ended up being signed to Motown. And the queen of Motown was one Diana Ross, okay? And they were not treated. And Gladys Knight has said it many times. They were not treated kindly during their Motown years, and they were more than happy to move on. But there's a lot of old bad blood as it relates to that. But I will say this. We just saw it, Sir Daniel. Listen, Gladys came on that stage, gave Miss Ross that side hug, and sang down.
They were going to keep it cute. They always were. And so here's the thing. People would not compare Diana Ross vocally to Gladys Knight or to a Patti LaBelle. And we're going to make that clear. They don't compare vocally. But I think what Berry Gordy saw, what the rest of the world saw, is that Diana Ross is an it girl. You cannot stop looking at her.
Nope.
You can't. Now, although it is said that reporters were told to only speak to her when this was in the Supremes days. They were told only speak to Diana. Only talk to her, direct your questions to her because she's the leader of the group. And so, of course, that carries over into everything else, preferential treatment in dressing rooms, clothing, taking somebody else's band member because you saw them and you wanted them in your band. All of that stuff happens. And, but what she does have, like I said, is star power. One of the funniest things to me, J. Ray, is that if you look at a lot of Diana's old performances, Mama is always running to the stage.
Right. Listen, she's gonna jog
for it. She's gonna jog to the stage. She's gonna be holding onto a garment.
Like her right
off of her shoulders or something, and she's gonna be running to that stage.
Hey everyone!
And she's gonna breathlessly address the crowd and greet them, and then she's gonna have a good old time. And that's just something you just can't buy. Either you're born with it, basically.
Yes.
And she's got it.
Yep.
She's got it. Now what she also has is that she has the sense of when to put a little leg out and pull it back, because she knows, like at the
Oprah thing, the Legends Ball.
All of them were there, and that Sunday morning piece is a part that's still viral to this day. The gospel brunch, where Shaka, Patti, Gladys, some of the gospel girls, I can't think of their names right now, ate that microphone up. They did another mic toss. There's a lot of mic tossing in this episode. They did another mic toss, and Diana let them. She said, "Oh, y'all got it."
Listen, you have to know Diana Ross is an undeniable talent. Like, her tone, the way she delivers a song is just one of my favorite things. Every singer has their thing. So funny that we're talking about Diana Ross, but Janet Jackson just walked on the stage with a microphone. So she's participating in the That's What Friends Are For piece. She's another one of those vocalists, right? That people will put in that this person can't, whatever. But the reality is they can, and they do it in their own way. And Diana Ross, say it. That woman's voice and tone goes. Those songs that we love are hits for a reason. Those songs would sound completely different if Diana's voice was not on them. So, that's for sure. Divas, these were the Divas.
The Divas of 83. Speaking of, it's funny that you mentioned Janet and people not thinking that Janet's voice was all of that. Over the past weekend, I'm sure y'all saw her performance at Essence.
Bodied.
Weekend. Mama ate that performance. She completely, the microphone was on. Her choreography, of course, is on 100. And I mean, talk your stuff, Janet. What she said, I was a baby when my first number one came. This is when she was singing When I Think of You. This was her first number one, 86. She said, I'm 58 now, and I'm still out here carrying for y'all. And I'm still carrying the girls. So, I mean, and longevity, there's a lot to be said about longevity in this industry that we call the music industry and business. And there's just certain things, talent that you just cannot buy. The way people pay attention to you, you just cannot buy or bottle that. They try to manufacture it today, but it's just not the same thing. And here we see three women who have organically, as the kids say, got it out the mud from day one, doing everything that it took to become superstars. And to this day, we do not forget them. We still speak their names. And I think it's so important that, yes, we talked about all the conflict, the lying, the stealing or whatever that happened behind the scenes. But what they did show us was that there was room for more than one.
Yes.
And they were able to still have magnificent careers of their own.
Yes.
And nobody yes, they waited till, years later to speak their truths, but nobody was beefing publicly, and nobody got shot or killed, or nobody's in the tabloids and telling about each other's mess. I think maybe just it was the generation that they just didn't believe in airing everything out, airing your dirty laundry. That definitely has something to do with it.
Yeah.
And I think it worked in their favor.
Yeah. And I also think part of it too is you just don't have time. When you are as busy as those women, you don't have time, right? You just like, listen, I'm about to drop this project. I got to do that. I have to work on my stuff, And I think the other thing too is that you talked about the fact that there was room. All of the records that I listened to were distinct in their own way. Like every single woman had their own style of delivering a song. And it's like, oh, that's special. That's why you can like Gladys and Patti and Diana and the sister we're about to talk about, because you're going to get something from each and every one of them that is uniquely them. And it's okay. So that's why the Stan stuff is so weird to me, because I'm like, child, you can like Nicki and Cardi and Meg, like it's okay. They don't have to like each other. You can like all three of them.
Exactly. And that's it. Point blank. You mentioned our next. So we've added a diva to this mix that really deserves some shine. She had a landmark birthday in May as well. Angela Bofill, she turned 70 back in May. Unfortunately, she passed away about a month later. But she has struggled with some health issues for a very, very long time. She suffered a couple strokes. I remember listening to Danielle Smith's interview with her for the Black Girl Songbook podcast. And Danielle nearly had me in tears, but just talking to her, Angela Bofill had been singing all those years, but because of the strokes, sometimes she just couldn't remember songs, or she couldn't remember. And these are songs that she wrote. And the stroke had taken that part away from her ability to sing at some times. But we got to talk about 1983 as it pertains to Angela Bofill, because she dropped the classic album Too Tough. And it was too tough. The title track, tough. I mean, come on, tough.
What? Too Tough by Angela Bofill, the song, is one of the best songs of the 1980s. Like, for those that are listening, if you have never heard that song, just go drop it right now. You're not going to be able to not dance. So this album is arguably, because there are the jazz purists that will be like, no, Angela's first two albums are her first. So Angela Bofill, let's talk about it real quick. So Angela Bofill, much like a Patrice Rushen, kind of came to our awareness. This is before both you and I were really born, Sir Daniel, as kind of a jazz artist. So her first two albums were jazz influenced albums. They were R&B albums, but definitely jazz influenced and solid. You want to talk about two great records? This woman's diction, I think, is the right word. Like, you understood the words that she was singing. She was a very precise songstress that had a style all her own. And so, like all the kids do, Clive Davis came calling and was like, I need you to come on over to the Arista. I'm sure Clive Davis was smoking like a Salem's or something, and probably called the girls, Angie, baby, I want to get you in the studio. Come on over here. I'm sure it's a white gay. I'm sure it was all the things. I'm sure it was too much, right? But
he loved collecting black women.
He loved collecting a black diva. Okay, so this record, half produced by Narada Michael Walden, the legend himself. who of course goes on to the next year has Whitney Houston's first
Whitney
album
Houston.
on lock. But Narada Michael Walden produces the first half of the record, which includes Too Tough. And Angela Bofill herself produced the second half of the album. So the B-side of the record. And you know what's dope? So playing on this album, the whole album, Sheila Escovedo, one Sheila E, is doing percussion on this entire record. On the first half of the record is one American Idol alum, Randy Jackson, is I think playing bass on this record. So there's like people whose names, like who are their own stars, who were on Angela Bofill's Too Tough. This joint right here, top to bottom, this record goes off. Like
it's a wonderful. I'm glad you brought up the jazz piece because I think. Okay, so we talked about her the technicalities of Angela Bofill and her training, her writing. The pen game was strong. But what I think a masterful vocalist always does is they're going to make you feel something. They're going to make you feel what you need to feel through this song. And she always did that in every song, and there was always you can always feel like a bit of heartache attached to of Angela Bofill vocal, and there's joy, but there's just a little sprinkling of that sister's going through something. You know, she's feeling a little bit of something, but all of her ballads, like what's the one on this is called
Which
Tonight.
Oh,
Tonight
yes. She actually produced that. Did she produce this? You're talking about Tonight I Give In. No, that was a Narada Michael Walden.
Okay, so Tonight I Give In, like a lot of her ballads are very it's just, it makes you yearn for somebody, even if you don't have somebody in your life, or you do have somebody in your life and they're right there, but you're still yearning for somebody, like they're not there. She'll make you do that. She had that power, that ability. And when I think about her, I think about, well, we're going to talk about a very famous, viral moment that she had, but I think about her peers. Like, she came up in some really good company. We always saw her and Phyllis Hyman, like gigging together, even when their careers were kind of like stationary. They always gigged together because they had a relationship. They were friends. They were part of that, like you said earlier, that Clive Davis collective. For her, Mickey Howard, Shaka. Imagine coming up. Those girls did not play vocally like you had, and they all had a jazz influence.
They
if
did.
You think about it.
Yep.
Everybody had a jazz influence, and they can be heard throughout these albums. And I really wish Angela Bofill, like, she got her flowers, but I really, really, really wish the world could have like really embraced her a little bit tougher, a little. You know what I'm saying? Have more moments of her. Like, we all love this moment that she had with Michael Jackson. And what was this? The Grammys?
I think it was the Grammys. It was the
Grammys.
Please tell the people what happened.
If you haven't seen it, look up Angela Bofill and Michael Jackson Grammy moment. Angela Bofill and who was it that she was presenting with? Was it?
I can't remember.
It wasn't Rod Stewart. I know it was a man. It was a white man. And they were presenting for, I can't even remember which category.
Who knows?
But Gladys Knight was in the category, and so was Michael Jackson. Angela Bofill has the distinction of announcing that Michael Jackson is the winner. And Michael Jackson is white hot. Not white. White hot.
Yeah.
He is the biggest star. He's everywhere. You can't go a corner in the planet.
I think Kipper's right.
Kenny Loggins, and you can't go a corner on the planet and not know who Michael Jackson is. Michael Jackson bops up on stage, and this is This is loafers and glitter socks, Michael Jackson, and one glove, Michael Jackson.
White hot era Michael Jackson.
Bops on stage with his aviators on, and I guess he kind of daps up whoever the guy is, but he goes over and plants the biggest kiss on Angela Bofill's mouth. And Angela Bofill is she could have melted. She could have. Okay, I'm gonna be a little inappropriate. There's a gif of that comedian Kimberly, the one that everybody
Oh, you mean when she like melts like
no, the comedian. She's somebody that's she's wiping off the side of her leg, if you know what I mean. Like her inner thigh. Yes. She's like pantomiming, like wiping off her inner thigh, and like, whoo, it's it's moist. But anyway, so Angela Bofill is just in this moment is overheating. Like she is literally back there. Michael is giving his speech. But she's back there like about to hyperventilate because the biggest star in the world knows who she is.
Yes.
He probably had an appreciation for her.
He clearly knew like this is Angela Bofill right here.
The Angela Bofill. And was like, she's back there this whole time just having a commit. At one point she looks over at Kenny Loggins is like, oh yeah, yep.
That happened.
That happened. Mm-hmm. And it happened to me. But no, I think it was important to include Angela in this conversation because she put in the work.
Yeah.
She put in the work, and we have it. We have the hard copies to prove, no, this woman was that girl. She's a singer-songwriter. Mm-hmm. She can convey emotions, all of that stuff. And let's not forget her Latin influence, which is probably why she reached out to Sheila. Mm-hmm. And yeah, it hurt me when she passed because I know she has suffered quite a bit, but I'm glad she's free from that. Yeah. But we have all of this work. Angel of the Night is still one of my favorite albums by her.
Yeah, so interesting that you mentioned that record in particular. So when I was a kid, I will never forget because the album cover was so striking as the brown and Angela was kind of sitting on the beach and it's at night and she was just staring into the camera. So I specifically, this is why I'm a photographer, I remember that cover so vividly. I didn't have an understanding of the music on that album until much later. Like I was in my teens, but from when I was a kid, I remember thumbing through and like always like looking at this woman on this album, and it was Angela Bofill. Angie to her people, you know what I'm saying? And knowing that once I got to hear the record, like, oh my God, this woman is singing down. Yeah. Special. Yeah.
Jerry, before we wrap up, I just want to, if you all are following me on social media at DJ Sir Daniel, like Instagram or Facebook, I have recently posted one of the members of the DJ community here in Atlanta, DJ Low Key, is experiencing some health struggles and has to have some major surgery and will not be able to work for a while. The life of a DJ is literally gig by gig.
Yes.
You and this man has a family that he's taking care of. And so I'm just asking you all, if you dig me, and you dig the fact that I'm a DJ and you love DJ culture, DJ Low Key could really use your help. If you go to my page, you will see a post that has all his information on there if you'd like to make a donation. And just, if you feel it in your heart, please do it. Because at some point or another, we are all going to need to depend on the mercy of someone else.
Absolutely.
So that's what I wanted to say really quick. J-Ray, please let the folks know just how they can continue to support us, Q Points.
Yeah. Really quickly, I wanted to, I'm so glad you mentioned DJ Low Key. I have so many fond memories of parties that Low Key has hosted. This man has filled us with joy over the years. And so this support is just so incredibly important. So I just want to echo everything that you just said. Please, we'll make sure that we put it on our pages because it is important that we come through and support, make sure that he has what he needs. But in terms of Q Points, thank you all for being with us. Y'all are doing the main thing. If you hear our voice, if you see our faces, like we always say, that is important. Subscribe, share the show, friends, family, colleagues. If you love Q Points, chances are they will love Q Points. If you learned something and you heard something on this show that you're like, oh my God, I didn't know that, talk to us in the comments. We love to hear from you. Our YouTube comments be so fun. Some people be like all in the comments saying some crazy stuff. Some people be like, I love all the things. We want all the comments. So come.
We want them all.
We want them all. So definitely send us messages. Visit our website at qpoints.com. Join our mailing list. Read the blog, magazine.qpoints.com. And shop our store, store.qpoints.com. We have some amazing merch. Thanks to all the folks that continue to support. Thanks to you for tuning in and being here with us. We appreciate y'all so much.
That's going to do it for us. Like I always say, J. Ray, in this life, you have a choice. You can either pick up the needle or you can let the record play. I am DJ Sir Daniel.
My name is J. Ray, y'all.
And this is Q Points Podcast, dropping the needle on Black music history. We will see you on the next go round. Peace.
Peace, y'all.